Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Smith, and this is 3.4 Correlations. In our first little section here in our notes, this is on page 16 of the PDF file. Unless you have the booklet, then you can follow along with the booklet. If not, you can print out the PDF file. Or you can just follow along on the PDF and enter the answers on a blank sheet of paper. Okay, so 3.4 correlations. In our first example here, we have a bunch of dots going up to the right. So as we go from left to right, we see that it goes up. So this actually shows what's known as a positive correlation. This means that the two quantities increase together. The second scatter plot right here, highlight that, is a scatter plot that goes down to the right. And that means that we have a negative correlation. This means it goes down to the right as the x value increases, the y value decreases. And then our third example right here doesn't have any correlation. So it's known as having no correlation. So you write the word no. It has no correlation because there's no set pattern. As we see, the plots are all, or the points are all over the place, so it doesn't make sense that we would say that it has any type of correlation. Now we're going to learn about strong and weak correlations. If the points almost form a line, this is known as a strong correlation. If they're spread out more widely, but it still forms roughly what a line would look like, we would say this is a weak correlation. So a strong correlation looks like a line. A weak correlation looks kind of like a line, but not really. So to help visualize this, enclose the plotted points with an oval. If the oval is thin, the correlation is strong. The thinner the oval, the stronger the correlation. If the oval is fat or wide, we say that the correlation is weak, because it's not very strong of a correlation. I'm going to go ahead and put ovals around these points just to illustrate what this would look like. And there we go. Now that I am done with drawing those out for you guys to see very clearly, some of the ovals are a bit wider. I just made sure that I had all the points inside the ovals. We can now describe these scatter plots as strong, weak, positive, or negative. And the way that we go about this is we determine whether it's strong or weak first. So what we're going to do first is we're going to label these as strong. So A, I would say, is weak, but it goes up to the right. So that means it's a weak positive. As we can see, it still forms a nice oval. However, it's still a bit of a wider oval, therefore it's weak. In B, I would say it's definitely strong. That is a strong correlation there. But it's going down to the right. That means it's strong negative. That is a strong negative correlation. C, it's going down to the right. That's going to be negative as well, but it's a lot wider, so I would say it's a weak negative. It's a weak negative correlation. D, I would say it has no correlation at all. No correlation at all, because there's no real rhyme or reason if it's positive or negative. That oval pretty much looks like a circle, and that was the most oval shape I could get to get all those points in, so therefore I would say it has no correlation. E, I would say it's definitely strong, because all the points are very, very interwell connected, but it's also positive, because it goes up to the right. So it's a strong positive correlation. Karen and Erica make bead jewelry in their spare time. Their monthly income for 10 consecutive months is shown. So on our table over here, we have all the information that we need to graph this. I'll just label the graph paper for you. Try to follow along as best you can. Okay, and now that I'm done labeling that, try to copy as best you can. It is difficult to write sideways on a tablet because it'll rotate on me, so just bear with me on that. Next, we're going to plot our points. So I'm going to plot the first point, which is month 1 and income 20. So we're going to find 1 on the x-axis and then trace up to the 20. 1 would be the first dash halfway between 0 and 2. We trace up to the 20. Right there. Next, month 2, we have 25. So about halfway up our first square and 1 square over. Month 3 is 45. So we find month 3, trace up to 40, and then go up a little bit, and that'll be 45. Month 4 is 55. So we go to 4th month, find 50, and go up just a little bit from 50. Month 5, we have 80. So we go over to month 5, trace up to 80. If it helps to use a ruler, I would suggest using a ruler. Month 6 is 90. Seventh month is 110. So the next month is 110. Right here. 8th month is 105. 9th month is 135. And then finally our 10th month, 155. 155. So now we're actually done part A. We had to create the scatter plot of the data. Now we need to describe the trend in the data. Well, this is just like we did on the last slide. If we take a look back, we could draw an oval around it. If you have an oval tool on your computer or tablet, you can do that. Otherwise, try drawing like an oval around this. Make sure it contains all the points. What I will be doing is I'll be using my computer, and I'm going to do that and come right back. Alright, so now I got my oval around that. I would say it's pretty thin, so I would describe this trend as upward. However, I would describe the correlation as a strong positive. Because it's strong because the oval is thin, and it's positive because it goes up to the right. And if I were to describe the relationship like we did in 3.3, I would say as the month increases, the income increases. And that's it for that. You guys can go ahead and do the practice. I'll also include a weekly quiz for you guys to work through. Just make sure you get everything done for Sunday, and best of luck. If you have any questions, you always have my email and Google Classrooms there with lots of resources to support you in your learning.